Okay, so we did the putting, and we talked about we want to have some checkpoints and some goals about what we're going to do. We want to keep it simple and not overwhelm you. So we've done really good working on stance and posture, getting this feet a little closer together and standing a little more upright. And we talked about kind of the only way to practice that is to do it. And it's going to feel a little uncomfortable for a while, but uncomfortable means we're changing things and we're doing stuff differently. So that's okay. Now, we have to be careful when we're going out and playing while doing that. We don't want to feel unnatural. We want the practice to kind of lend itself to our subconscious, so over time it becomes natural and it applies itself on the course.
Okay.
So while we're practicing putting, we do want to feel a little bit uncomfortable because that's different, but on the course we want it to feel natural until we get that new stance and posture ingrained into us, and then it will feel normal. Eventually it will feel normal while we're practicing, and then that's when it will apply itself directly to the course.
Okay.
So that's one thing we really want to work on. We already talked about the next step, and we've worked on it a little bit. We really want to work on our pace. You're naturally a drip putter, where they just fall in the front edge of the cup. We want to work on putting them in the back of the cup, and the main reason we want to do that is we tend to see more putts converted shorter putts converted when we firmly put them in the cup, kind of into the back of it, versus just let them fall on the edge.
Right.
Because any ball marks, any imperfections in the green, it'll roll through. If the cup's not cupped properly, maybe it'll roll out if it's approaching a little too slowly, versus this will roll in. And it just has to get there. So we really want to work on converting the short ones, because that's what's really hurting our score when we were looking and talking about scoring. And most of our 3-putts were coming not necessarily from a bad lag putt,
Right.
but from not converting a 4 or 5 foot from a long lag.
Right.
And those are the ones we need to convert to really get our score down. So for practice, we really want to work on short putts and making sure we're putting them firmly in there. And then on some of the longer putts, we just want to make sure they get to the hole. We talked about some drills, right?
Oh, yeah.
Putting the hoops around it and making sure it goes in the back half, putting the tees in a semicircle around the back half, and we get points for getting in the back half of the cup, and we don't get points for leaving them short.
Right.
So we really want to make sure we're converting that stuff. That's going to really help us. The fourth thing, and that's what we talked a little bit more about today, where we're going. That's what we're working on now. Where we're going is we're really going to work on the visualization, because what we saw from the technology side of it with the TrackMan is you're really good at always keeping the ball on the high side, manipulating the face of your putter to always be on the high side of the cup, is what the numbers showed us. So that means your subconscious projects a very good, strong image of what we want the putt to do, but we're not conscious of it while we're putting. So we want to get where we can be conscious of that image, and that'll give our body a more clear direction on how to execute, and hopefully we'll start converting some more of those mid-length putts, those 12 to 15 footers. Those are the ones where our score really looks good, because those are the ones we need to make to save a few pars here and there, maybe with a chip or trying to get up and down. And those are, it's hard to get birdie putts inside of that. So that's kind of where a lot of our birdie putts are going to come from. So if we can learn to convert those, that's going to really start getting our score from that low 90, high 80s area down to the low 80s, and maybe even breaking 80, right? Like, we'll really start converting those. That's kind of the next step.
Okay.
So that's how we want to work on practicing that. We'll work on the visualization, but for the time being, let's do short putts, focusing on speed,
Right.
and focus on our posture and setup, right?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about it?
Basically, is it for the putts that we were working on? I'm not changing like the length. I'm going to say it the wrong way. Like the length of my swing. It's just when I'm impact, I'm doing it with a little bit more of a oomph per se to make it a little bit longer. Like versus like I'm not going to go, okay, I'm leaving it short, so I need to take a bigger backswing. I just need to make sure I'm making solid contact as I'm coming through.
Correct. And that part of that was that posture thing. We're a little taller, so we're going to keep our head up but our eyes down and not look at the hole.
Right.
Yes. Okay. That's it. That's it. When you have good contact, your speed control's pretty good.
Okay.
And that's some of that relates with the posture, right? Awesome. Yep. Great job.
Perfect. Thanks. Because the only time I really